There's a person your mind keeps returning to, right now, whether you want it to or not. You replay the conversations. You imagine what you'd say. You check if they've been online. And the strangest part is that the intensity often has almost nothing to do with how good they actually were for you. Sometimes we can't stop thinking about someone who hurt us, or barely knew us, or was never really available at all. Why does the mind grip a person like this and refuse to let go? The answer isn't romance. It's a set of mechanisms in your brain that you can actually understand, and once you do, the grip starts to loosen. Start with the most counterintuitive truth of all, one that explains almost everything about obsessive attachment. Your brain is not wired to crave what makes you happy. It's wired to crave what's uncertain. When a reward is reliable, when someone is steadily, dependably yours, your mind relaxes and the craving fades. But when a reward is unpredictable, when you don't know if they'll text back, if they want you, if today they're warm or cold, your brain lights up far more intensely. This is the exact mechanism that makes gambling addictive. The uncertainty itself is the drug, which leads to a brutal irony we need to face directly. The people we obsess over most are often the ones who gave us the least consistency. If someone were simply, fully available, warm every time, always there, the fixation would quiet down. It's the mixed signals, the hot and cold, the almost, the maybe, that light the fire and keep it burning. Your brain reads the inconsistency as a puzzle it must solve, and it will not stop running until it does. So if you're tormented by someone who kept you guessing, understand, it may not be love keeping you hooked. It may be uncertainty, and the two feel almost identical from the inside. Here's the second mechanism, and it's the one that makes obsession self-fueling. The more you think about someone, the more your brain decides they matter. Attention is how your mind tags importance. Every time you replay a memory, imagine a conversation, check their profile. You're sending your brain a signal. This is significant. Keep tracking this. So the thinking isn't a symptom of how important they are. The thinking is what makes them feel important. You're not obsessed because they matter so much. In large part, they feel like they matter so much because you can't stop thinking about them. It's a loop that feeds itself, and naming it is the first step to breaking it. Now the third piece, the unfinished story. Your mind hates loose ends. Psychologists have shown we remember and fixate on incomplete things far more than completed ones. A relationship that ended without closure, a connection that never got its chance, a fight left unresolved, a question never answered. All of these leave a door open in your mind, and your brain keeps walking back to it, trying to close it. This is why being ghosted or abruptly abandoned can haunt you far more than a clean, mutual goodbye. It's not that the person was more special, it's that the story has no ending, and your mind cannot stop trying to write one. There's a fourth force underneath, and it's older than any particular relationship, your attachment wiring. Long before this person, your brain learned a template for love from your earliest bonds. If that early experience taught you that closeness is uncertain, that love has to be earned, chased, worried over, then an unavailable person won't feel like a warning sign. They'll feel like home, achingly familiar. The anxiety they trigger registers not as danger, but as love, because for you, the two got wired together long ago. This is why some people feel almost nothing for those who treat them well, and everything for those who keep them anxious. You're not broken. You're running an old program, and old programs can be seen and slowly rewritten. And then there's what obsession quietly does for you, which is the part almost no one admits. Sometimes the fixation isn't really about them at all. It gives you something. A person to long for can fill an emptiness, distract you from your own life, give you a project, a hope, a reason. Fantasizing about a future with them or about them finally realizing your worth can be more comfortable than facing whatever feels missing or painful in your actual present. The obsession becomes a place to hide, and that's why it's worth asking, gently, what does thinking about this person let me avoid feeling about myself? The answer is often where the real work is. So why won't it just stop when you decide it should? Because the harder you try not to think about someone, the more your brain checks whether you're thinking about them, which means, of course, you think about them. Suppression backfires. Every willful "don't think about them" is itself a thought about them. This is why brute force fails, why telling yourself just get over it does nothing but add shame on top of the obsession. The exit isn't force, it's understanding and redirection. So here's what actually helps. First, stop feeding the loop. Every check of their profile, every replay, every imagined conversation is a log on the fire, a signal to your brain that this person is worth tracking. You can't delete the thoughts, but you can stop performing the rituals that tell your brain they matter. Starve the loop of its fuel, and slowly, unevenly, the signal weakens. Not through force, but through no longer stoking it. Second, close the story yourself, internally, without needing them. You do not need their apology, their explanation, their return to write an ending. You can grant your own closure by accepting that some questions will never be answered, that some people leave without giving you the last chapter, and that you're allowed to stop waiting at that open door. Closure was never something they had to give you. It's something you decide to take. Third, and most importantly, turn the attention back toward your own life. That enormous energy you're pouring into one person, into imagining them, missing them, decoding them, is energy that belongs to you. The obsession thrives in an empty, waiting life and shrinks in a full one. Every hour you invest in your own goals, your friendships, your body, the things that make you feel like yourself, is an hour reclaimed from the loop. You're not trying to force them out. You're building a life so engaging there's less and less room for them. So the next time you catch your mind sliding back to them for the 100th time today, don't hate yourself for it. Recognize what's really happening. An uncertainty your brain mistook for love, an open loop it's trying to close, an old attachment pattern lighting up, an attention habit feeding itself. None of it means they're the one. It means you're human, running very human machinery. And the moment you can see the machinery clearly, you stop being run by it, and that person slowly shrinks back down to their real size, and the enormous space they took up in your mind quietly returns to you.